Hey everyone, it's Jim Phoenix here with my co-host Voodoo Priestess. Say hello.
Hello.
For another exciting adventure of Streamin Demons. Today our very special guest is Brannick. Say hi.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
And if remember, kiddies, the rules. We do one new, one rental, and one old. And rental usually means you can rent it online, not at your local video store like Voodoo Priestess has tried before. And old usually means, within the last couple of years, not pre-war.
Oh my God. You won't let these things go.
Nor should
Just
he.
like the hit and run, sometimes we have to take a pause and recollect and go, did you see that shit? I think you did. And also because I am very lazy, as always, we let our special guests go first. And I believe, Brannick, you have the rental.
I do. Very exciting rental that's coming out March 19th to, I'm sure, all of your streaming things that you can purchase rentals from. I chose Phobias, 2021's Phobias, which is a anthology. And so we have, it's, and I actually really love anthologies. They can be very powerful. I felt like the story around the stories was a little bit lacking and a little bit mushy.
So it's not like Holidays where it's just dun dun dun, but it's more like Tales from the Crypt or Tales from the Hood.
Or Trick or Treat, yes. I always have that as the standard of anthologies because Trick or Treat was so masterfully done that I'm like, okay, this is the standard of which all other ones must be.
I do it every year, except for the last couple of years because of COVID.
Yeah. So the story around it is a little bit mushy, but it goes a little something like this. So the first one is Robophobia, and it stars Leonard Nam, who is phenomenal in this. He is this kind of every dude who lives in the dingiest of dingy places. There's these assholes who are fucking racist that are like up in his shit. He's trying to take care of his sick dad. It's not going well. He is an RC Cola man, though. I do appreciate that.
RC Cola? Okay, last week I learned that CW is still a thing, but RC Cola is still a thing?
RC Cola is still, it's hot. It's what all the cool kids drink, I think.
Voodoo, do you know what RC Cola is?
It's in all dollar stores everywhere and in my sketchy Mexican neighborhood market.
It's really? It's terrific, yes.
Maybe it's just not a Canadian thing anymore. My God.
No,
Royal
and
Crown.
It is very, you either love RC Cola or you hate RC Cola. There's no middle ground.
Is it like Coke or Pepsi?
Oh boy, it's like a crispier Coke, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's not the saccharine of Pepsi yet. You can almost mix it with alcohol, but you wouldn't want to. Or Pepsi, you just can't mix with alcohol at all. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's okay. At least Pepsi tastes better.
So today's sponsor is Coca-Cola.
No, RC Cola, man. RC Cola.
Negative beer, Jimbo. Push that negative. Dude, wrong show. Whatever.
Yeah, you don't want to put Megadeth beer in your RC Cola. Separate them. So this dude doesn't have friends, just has his dad, sick dad, but he does have a computer. And while he's hacking, maybe with his Windows computer, he meets a friend. And this
I was hacking.
Is okay. And this friend is a robot. Or at least we think it's a robot. It kind of turns into this very staticky dude later on. But he starts to explain what good and bad is to the robot. Racist people are bad.
I'm raising my hand for a question because
Sure.
This can be really wrong. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Hi, Jim Phoenix here with the HauntedMTL Press. So is this like the AI bot where kind of 4chan completely made into a racist asshole?
It goes downhill fast. Yes.
Okay. I was just wondering. like they made it to like Ultra Hitler really quickly, and they had to like terminate it.
I think her name was Tybot, perhaps.
Which is funny because I actually knew someone who was a hacker with that name.
Oh, well.
Okay, so it's kind of like the same premise then. It does go downhill. The best intents just go boom.
Goes downhill. Suddenly, we're at another place entirely with this character. It is this like old army outpost with equipment like from the 50s, and there's this over-the-top scientist who's like doing thought experiments, and he's like, hey, welcome, newbie. You are coming in and we're going to juice ya of your fears and use the fear juice as biological weapons and whatnot, like you do. And well, it's more of a fear gas. Sorry, I feel like it could be a juice though at some point, given the right environment.
Enough refibrines. It could be a juice, but usually they're just a gas.
Just a gas. And this is where we go into more of the anthology.
Oh, so that's the background story of it.
Yes.
That's the background of it?
Yes.
And it all connects together like Halloween or March.
Trick or treat, yes, but much mushier. Think mushier. It's not as tight, which is a shame because I felt like it could be. So the first one is actually the second one, but the next one is Vehophobia, which I believe is vehicular kind of phobia.
Sounds like the fear of bikes.
Where we get this goth girl who's like breaking up with her boyfriend, but then it starts to reverse into why this happened, how this happened. She's haunted by this car. This is also starring from The Babysitter and its sequel. I have her name.
The Babysitter.
Hannah May Lee.
Hannah May Lee? Yes. Oh my God.
And she's terrific.
High school with her. Really? Oh, wow.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's amazing. I know she was trying to be an actress, but I didn't, maybe because of COVID, I just kind of fell off a bit.
Oh, well.
Do you want to double check to make sure it's the same person?
Let's just say it is. Let's just say it is.
Pretty sure it is.
But she was also in The Babysitter and was phenomenal in that too. She's very cool. And so we get her story. I'm not going to go into it too much because I don't want to spoil anything, but she does a terrific job. And then we move on to the next person. And
this is number 3, yeah?
This is number 3. This is, and I'm going to like fuck up these things like a lot. A Phoebephobia?
Phoebephobia from Friends? You're afraid of Phoebe from Friends?
No, yes. I think it's Charmed.
Both. Double Phoebe'd.
Ooh, I could do that. Lisa Kudrow.
But it's a lot less sexy in this one because this one is about being stalked in her own home, and we don't know exactly by who, and then eventually we do figure out by who.
Sorry.
And it's also a very good portion of it. Again, it's a little bit less. That was one of my problems, is that some of the stories are very supernatural, and then some of them are like, well, yeah, I could see that happening.
Right.
And I feel like you should go one way or the other.
So you're saying for the anthology, it should have been not just phobia based, but phobia with a particular subgenre.
Well, I mean, it could be phobia based, but like in, again, Trick or Treat, everything is supernatural. Everything that happens on that night is a supernatural event, all woven together. Whereas this is like, oh, there are 2 stories in here that could very well happen to basically anyone, and then there are the rest of the stories that are like, oh, this is completely something other and completely, so it kind of doesn't balance right.
What would you rather have? The supernatural, complete supernatural, or the one that can go, this could happen?
I think if it went, this could happen, it would have to be much more of a drama, I believe. But it could be done. I'm not saying that I couldn't. Well, it's just, I guess I leaned more towards supernatural, and especially the ending story was phenomenal. So I feel like they should have absolutely kept that.
Well, it's like Kevin Smith's movie and our version of Holiday. it could happen. The rest were kind of like, oh, bunny Jesus. Hope not.
It could happen. We're approaching Easter. Everybody pray for bunny Jesus. All right, so we have another one, hoplophobia or hoplophobia, which is the other one that very well could have happened. A police woman murders a child by accident.
Well, by accident? I don't know.
Yes.
Boo.
Yes. By accident.
Sorry.
And then she develops this PTSD, and then all these things that kind of go into that. But again, it could happen. It's very, and the acting is perfect.
So what is hoptophobia? Is it like the fear of children?
Probably.
Oh,
I am a dollar store psychologist, and I say sure.
Okay.
And then we get to our last one, which was my favorite one, which I rustle my notes like an asshole. Atlophobia? Atlophobia? I don't remember. Anyway.
Or you have notes you don't remember? The fuck are your notes about that?
I have it, but I don't know how to.
But
I don't know how to say these things.
I'm just doing it for the paper rustling. That's all I do. I just want the paper rustling sound effect. And they're not rustling right now. I love it. You're doing it on cam. You're like,
I know. Oh man, I'm not having a good day.
Cash. Damn it.
So this one has a special guest.
Ooh.
Yes. Who honestly, I was blown away with her acting. I never would have even considered her a great actor.
No spoilers.
So, but let's just say maybe during the 90s, she was trying to walk away. It didn't work out.
Britney Spears?
No, Macy Gray.
Macy Gray?
Macy Gray. Macy Gray from 90s songs.
Wow.
Is in this, and she plays it wonderfully. So she is a female architect with only basically female architects, and she's a little pill poppy. She's a little
she's Dan Rand
on edge, and then it goes off the complete fucking rails, and it is wonderful to watch. Honestly, I would like to see a full-length feature of just that portion of it.
Cool.
And she deserves her own movie. So I'm not going to say too much because I really, really don't want to spoil it. But honestly, I think everybody should watch this. Yeah, it's kind of dumb how it twists together, but everybody brings their A game. Everybody acts so good in this, and the music is great, and the effects are great. And I was just really, really excited about this movie.
So what would you get it Cthulhu-wise?
I would give it 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Holy
yeah,
shit.
I usually rate pretty low too, so that's a big one.
That's huge. By the way, what'd you give Freaky Cthulhu Rise?
What?
What'd you give Freaky Cthulhu Rise? Because we just
Freaky?
had this. Yeah.
I think a 3.5.
4.5. Vince Vaughn was a master in that movie.
Yeah, no, I disagree.
Yeah, I think it was wonderful. He played psychopath and teenage girl perfectly for me.
Jack Black played girl much better for me.
Rob Schneider also did the movie. But that's what I'm saying. You compared him to Jack Black. I compared him to Rob Schneider.
Yeah, I guess that's where we are on different planes of view.
I know. I don't think I'm on plan.
Different planes of view.
Okay,
have you seen Happy Death Day?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I have.
I feel like that was a lot more in the vein of what it was trying to go for. Anyway, you can read my
Happy Death
review.
Day 2.
No, because I hate sequels.
Great. I can't wait until we announce our new podcast, Sequels.
Sequel.
Also one on books.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Can't wait. We're just like, how'd you like? I hated it. Why? Like I hate sequels. I don't know. I just Jeepers Creepers 12, Wrong Turn 5, Spit on Your Grave 16.
Spit on Your Grave.
I made a joke about that, and it was true. My joke turned true. I'm like, how many times is this person gonna get beaten?
So much spit, so many graves.
Sorry, kids. If you remember last time, I reviewed Freaky, and I loved the shit out of it. And I was getting shit for not reading Brannick's review before I, watched a movie. But that was the whole point, not to read a review before I watch a movie, so I can just review it.
You can read my review on HauntedMTL.com.
Man, it's linked in the podcast where I do the freaky review, and it's worth watching it. Even though we disagree on some things, it's important to notice that it's okay to have different opinions on horror movies. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, just mine are right most of the time.
I'm editing that out. And no. But I was just wondering, sorry to derail it. So coming to the old, and we're using that loosely, which was good. We don't want too old, just like my Tinder days. Voodoo Priestess.
Nice entrance there.
Yeah. So I did a treat for you guys. You see, the movie I chose at first was Fear.com. And then I remembered it was so boring that I couldn't watch it. So I ended up playing Digimon and Pokemon all through it. And so I changed it to The Thaw, which is super special because I hate Parasite movies. And I can't do Parasite movies. And I watched it for you guys.
That's very cool. I thought you were just lisping and saying The Thaw. Like I saw a Thaw, Thaw 2, Thaw 3. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
I thought you were going to say The Thong. And I was like, what is that horror movie?
Yeah, that one you don't watch.
On Rewind, I guess.
The Thaw has Val Kilmer in it, sort of. He's there a little bit in the beginning.
How old is this movie?
It's from like 2000 and let me double check for you real quick. 2009.
That's a great year.
2009. I thought it was a little.
Like I don't think Val did a movie.
Yeah, I know. I've actually seen him in a couple different like horror or horror adjacent movies, and
he's been pretty decent in horror movies.
Yeah, he is.
Just movies in general, but yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in the movies he's popular for, so.
Really?
Doesn't surprise me.
You never seen like what was that? The Last Unicorn or whatever the hell was that?
Unicorn?
Willow. Sorry, Willow. I meant.
I was like,
oh yeah, I've seen him in Willow.
Real Genius and
put tear on your chest. I didn't realize that was him. But now now that you mention it, I can see it. But anyway, The Thaw. So it's about global warming. They lay it on thick at the beginning that global warming is bad, and global warming will destroy the world.
Wait a minute, is this Birds, the bird movie Shock and Terror?
No, this is The Thaw. This is
Shock and Terror.
So basically, researchers in Antarctica are looking at global warming, melting ice caps, and
those researchers. When will they ever learn? No researcher's gone to Antarctica and actually discovered something good. It's like The Thing.
Yeah.
Or basically. The Thaw. The Thing Thaw.
Or the Nazis. The undead Nazis
of the world.
Oh no, I was talking about sky sharks.
Oh. Don't go to Antarctica, kids.
Yeah, don't. It's just not good.
Which I believe is actually a PSA they put out a couple years ago because of global warming. Global warming. Don't go to Antarctica. They actually tell people not to go there.
Really?
Yeah. They don't want people. They don't want people effing it up.
Makes sense, actually.
Yeah, it does make sense.
So anyway, the movie has parasites in it, and it's basically teenagers and parasites.
Do the teenagers die a lot? Is this why you don't like the movie? They didn't die?
I don't like parasites.
Oh, you just don't like parasites?
I don't do good with parasite movies.
Why?
I actively...
It's gross.
They get... Okay, we're not going too far into it because I can't actually talk about them too well. But I once read a book when I was younger, and it listed a whole bunch of... Oh, you bitch, I see you. Oh.
It listed, oh, you bitch, I see you? Wow, that's a weird parasite.
Anyway, I read a thing of parasites, and those things are fucking terrifying. Like, there's certain ones I can watch just fine, like Alien, because it's an alien. I had a hard time with, The Last of Us, because...
Right. How about The Strain?
I haven't seen it.
Oh.
What about Bugs?
I haven't seen it. I actively avoid it. The only reason I watched this for you guys is because I've seen it before, and I thought maybe that would take away the thing, but I was actually kept turning away and trying not to vomit every time they saw a little.
Really? You're that horrified. Have you ever watched Star Trek 2?
Star Trek 2?
Oh, with the ear.
Thing in the ear?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
They do.
Oh, we need to. I know what we're doing. As soon as COVID's over and we all can go across and visit each other without coughing at each other, we're watching like Star Trek 2 and The Strain and just like fucking.
It's in his ear and he screams.
What? No.
Back off.
What?
Yeah.
What? No,
Yeah.
no. What? Why are you using against me? You bitches.
Yeah.
We
should like have a night of where we watch the movies that we hate the most. Like I hate intruder movies.
Rollergator.
Sleep paralysis.
Oh, are you serious?
Oh yeah. And in my sleep paralysis, it's usually people breaking in. So this is why I don't like intruder movies. But we should just watch all the movies that we really, really hate and make fun of each other for it.
The next podcast called Severe Psychological Trauma.
Right. And then we get into like a psychologist to help, like whatever.
We're all crying then. Whoa. Voodoo. So you took one for the team.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I have a question too. Is this the movie that where it had like the previews or whatever? There's like a scene where they're trying to pry something out of a fish and something very quickly like runs across the dude's hand. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Did we lose Voodoo?
No, I'm here.
Did you die?
No.
Is that the movie? Because I feel like that's the movie.
I don't think so. Oh, there was a scene at the end with the Bert and the things. But I don't think it's the same movie.
But is it the same movie like Life, where Ryan Reynolds goes up in the spaceship and it gets that small little thing just in the corner of his eye? It starts like cellular. I think what we're doing is now illegal.
I muted my computer. You suck.
Okay, we as friends, even though I believe she called us both bitches like a minute ago.
We're not fucking friends.
I don't have friends to fuck anymore. Okay, what? Not editing that out. Keeping that in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, Voodoo, what would you give the movie? What would you rank the movie out of 5?
That's kind of hard since I was actively like trying to watch it and trying not to at the same time. I would probably give it like a 2.5, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know how
you were scared?
No, there was like
don't have the drag race, Voodoo.
And she's gone. She's gone.
I hate you all. So there was this one character dude who had like a bug phobia, and y'all remember Ripley from Aliens and how they're like, she's like quarantine, and everybody's like, you're a bitch, except we all know she's totally right. Now imagine that happening, except you're a dick, and we're supposed to believe that he was totally in the wrong somehow. Like there is this tonal dissonance a little bit.
What was the right call to do?
What was the right call?
Quarantine both ways.
Yeah, I know, but
the movies would be a lot shorter that way. Just like this pandemic would have been. But hey. Why?
Yeah, if people listen to other people, movies would be a lot shorter.
Yeah. Like, why listen to science and medical knowledge? I mean, it's only been 2,000 years.
I couldn't find what I was talking about, but I did find where that parasite like gets onto the tongue of a fish.
Yeah.
And it latches on and becomes the fish's tongue.
Yeah.
Batman. I have a video if you want.
It's not the Shatner video, is it? Because I could use the Shatner video. I'm going to bail you out, Voodoo. Okay, so 2.5, that's the old. And that leaves me with the rental. Me with the new. I got like, wait a minute, I didn't rent this movie.
I rented.
Sorry, I got the new. And I have Stay Out of the Fucking Attic from 2020 on absolutely on Shudder.
Is it really Stay Out of the Fucking Attic?
Yeah. Well, they do the asterisks for the fucking part, and I don't.
So you don't really know if it's fucking.
Could be facking.
It could be facking.
Flicking. It could be fruck. I don't always agree with. I have a game coming out called You're Fucked, and I don't know. So I don't. We'll see. We'll see marketing wise how we go. But it is a 2020 horror movie released last week or this week, I think was released. And the writers, Jason Scott Goldberg, Jesse Ferdman, they did a pretty good job at setting up this world. I'm going to read you the log line from IMDb. A group of ex-cons turned movers are convinced by their creepy client to pull an all-nighter. As the night progresses, they uncover the horrors that exist inside his old Victorian mansion. It was cool. I went in it because I saw one of the people who we now follow on Twitter. I just randomly saw they said something like this new on Shudder. I'm like, that's kind of a cool sounding movie. I watched it. It's a quick hour, like hour 20, hour 30, hour 20. It's a quick hour 20. It's self-conscious of a movie, meaning it knows that it is a movie. It's aware of it's kind of in this genre. And I'm kind of surprised that Brandon didn't see it because it deals with Nazis.
Oh, well,
it is a
that's
Nazi
right
horror.
up my alley.
100%. I was like, wow, you need to see this. No sharks. There are no sharks, but there are Nazis. And I'm not spoiling anything. The premise is one of the movers is a white nationalist.
Okay, real quick. Is it a zombie Nazi?
No. Without spoiling, I can say no.
Is it a surfing Nazi?
I believe he just does moving.
Okay.
He just does moving. The characters and the pace of the film, like I said, it's a self-conscious movie, meaning it knows its genre and is playing to that genre. If you think this is going to be this goriest, badass zombie thriller or whatever it is, it's not that. If you think it's going to be this spooky haunted house, it's not that. It is a monster in the house movie, meaning that you have the setting is primarily in the house itself. So if you go back to other movies like 1312 Ghosts, whatever that movie was, the remake.
Ouija House?
Ouija House, might have been with Tara Reid. Mm-hmm. I believe that was part of her movies.
Now on Tubi.
Tubi, no. If you go back to those movies, you're going to see it. They're locked in. You have to. It's an escape room type thing. You have to get out. But there's things that happen in the plot that I won't get too in detailed with. But it's the people trying to do their best. They might have started out evil, but they're trying to do their best to atone for their past sins. And that's where the movie really builds and pushes forward. The dialogue is snappy. Some people think it might have been like, well, it's not believable. Well, it is believable. There have one of the actors I actually thought was my friend Bean. I'm like, did Bean grow his hair out and star in a movie he didn't tell me about? No, it's Carlos is well played. Imani's well played. Albert's, everyone, all the characters, not a lot of characters in there, they're all play the roles really well. If anything, it's the acting that stitches them together. But again, your expectations have to be what the movie is versus what the movie's not. If you think this is going to be the scariest fucking movie you've ever seen, you ain't going to go out too well. If you think it's going to be a decent movie that's entertaining and moves, is kind of punchy and it has some great story moments, I think you are going to like this movie. And on IMDb, they gave it a 4.8 out of 10. And I can see it's probably a flip up and down for some people, right? So, expectations, keep them in one way or another, and you are going to have a fun time with this Nazi movie. Yeah.
I think it's an interesting premise that, like taking basically people with a lot of backstory, obviously, and putting them into something like this. I mean, that's a lot to chew.
It is, and it makes you think of the characters. They're all the last chance. I think it's called like second chance movers or something. I'm trying to remember.
That sounds like something on the WB.
Maybe, yeah. If the WB made a horror movie, this might have been it.
These criminals with a heart of gold decide to start a moving company. But here comes a big bad Nazi. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, it's something that you can watch, and they do like nothing's really CG'd, if I remember correctly. It's practical effect based.
I love practical effects.
I think it's worth it. I think you two would actually like this. I don't think you're gonna go like, oh, this is the best movie ever. I watched this. I'll tell you my rating later, but it has its moments. It was watchable. It's doable, and there's an end post-credit scene. I should say there's a post-credit scene that it's kind of ties it back together. If you like the Evil Dead TV show, you'll like this movie.
Okay. Oh, I like that. Yeah.
And I think that's where you can go. And it has legs or not. I'm not sure if they'll ever do anything else beyond that.
Is the dialogue glib, or is it just right enough to keep it moving?
It's self-aware. It's self-aware, but well written. It's someone who knows, because these are all street characters. They all have rough backgrounds, but the dialogue makes sense. It's not some older guy trying to write younger slang.
Okay. That's what I was going for.
Like the words fit the characters, and the words fit what someone that age would say.
Okay.
And the acting is phenomenal for everyone involved. I won't say how many people are in it because it's
12 million.
Yeah, all 12 million of them. No, the acting is phenomenal, and there's a lot of scenes, a lot of tension built. One of the things that is kind of funny is if you've ever had to move people before, it fucking sucks. If you had to move people in Vegas, it's all we did. I was like, move, okay, get some boxes from the liquor store. Let's put shit in boxes and move it out. Take the door off the hinges and shit like that. It reminded me of that, where even at the beginning, I was like, you know what? It'd be really funny for me to do. Write a movie like this, or then shoot the scene and have the actors really move people out of the house. Like really just like, okay, in this scene, you're moving out the bedroom. Go. And then just have them pack shit up and not even tell them, like, don't cut nothing. Just like make sure you get the fucking boxes out.
So basically, you want somebody to come and move your house and you film it.
Yeah. I think I would end up paying a lot more for actors than I would for a moving company, but it depends on the company.
Two birds, one stone.
It'd be perfect. And I was wondering, like, man, is this guy like really making these people fucking move his house and shit? Because that's what I would do. That's funny as fuck. But I liked it. I am going to give us a 4 out of 5 Cthulhu's. 4 out of 5.
That's really high.
It is. And it goes because it gets that high because of the movie knowing what it is and playing into that.
Okay.
If it was unaware, if the movie was unaware of itself, and it would be like in the 3s. But I'm gonna say 4, and plus the acting is really good. 4 out of 5 Cthulhu's. It's on Shudder right now. It's one of their new Shudder only exclusive movies. Well worth the subscription price of Shudder, which is only, I think it's like $4 or $5 anyways.
What's it called again?
Joe Bob says, check this out. It's called Stay Out of the Motherfucking Attic. Sorry, Stay Out of the Fucking Attic.
Yeah, not Motherfucking Attic. That's the sequel.
That should be the fucking sequel. That fucking should be the sequel. No, I liked it. I saw it yesterday, and do yourself a favor, watch it past the credits. It does make sense. Iron Man shows. Oh fuck! I just spoiled it.
Yeah.
Oh damn it! No.
Iron Man and the Hulk. They're having a tea party.
Yes, what a lovely tea party. Oh wait, that's Jay and Silent Bob. Sorry. So, as we wrap up, I would like to say, who wants to plug Teacup Saucer out? Guest goes first. Brannick, what do you want to plug?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't really have much to plug today, except for, I suppose, a podcast that me and Evie did for the Throwdown, which will be coming out soon.
Ooh.
That has 2 very special guests from your least favorite scary movie podcast, Jesse, and I want to say James.
Bloody Mary?
I'm trying not to.
Jesse. I thought you were trying to make me name my least favorite scary movie podcast. I was thinking Bloody Mary.
Wow, bitch. Wow.
Wait, did he say The Witch? I can't remember. Anyway.
The least favorite movie. My least favorite movie being The Witch. I mean, I don't dislike The Witch. I just don't think it's horror. I actually like the movie as a movie.
So anyway, come check us out. They're going to be on our podcast. They're a lot of fun.
Cool.
Check out their actual show too. It's basically like the Throwdown, except I think nicer.
Yeah.
Well, that's right, because Voodoo Priestess, and you do. I just realized that Voodoo Priestess is in this podcast right now.
Surprise!
I know.
Yeah.
It's only been a half hour.
She's your only guest.
She's also my co-host for the last 8 episodes. Yeah. We started this together. I just forget who I'm with sometimes. Sorry.
She looks just like Nicole.
Yeah.
Well, it's those blank spaces sometimes. Voodoo, what do you want to plug?
I will plug Dear Stabby because I'm always looking for articles, and it's been a while. I have one that I have to write. I just have to re-grab the question from the dude because...
Why are you grabbing questions from the dude?
Because I need questions. That's how Dear Stabby thrives, on the dear listeners and readers' questions.
Yeah, if you do not send her your question, she's going to reach out and grab you. It's going to be weird.
And probably in Spanish. Which is the weird part. I'm like, well, you should say it. Wow.
You can send me your questions via Twitter at Evangeline _the.
How do you spell Evangeline?
EVANGELINE
_THE.
Yeah. It's fun because you can say Evangeline, the greatest person ever, or
the greatest piece of shit.
Yeah.
Or in French, it just means tea, by the way. Like you're the Evangeline tea.
Yes, let's go with that. Let's pretend I'm French now.
Well, as long as we have to pretend you're something that you're not, Tagalog. If that is a real language. Which I think a couple million people speak it, so maybe it is.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's much more real than your French in Montreal.
Ah, oui, oui.
Sacre bleu.
Sacre bleu. Who wanted to say Sacre Bleu? Oh, it was Tom Baker saying Sacre Bleu. Okay. I want to plug, I'm going to plug a movie that I am going to talk about next time. And it is called Witness Infection. Arrow gave us a screener. I snapshot it immediately. We actually have a interview with Carlos and Jilly, the two co-creators, co-writers, and co-stars in it. It is an amazing movie. I can't wait to talk about it once it comes to theater or streaming service. Sorry, COVID. A streaming service near you on March 30th. If you check out our Twitter, we've already probably given away a copy of the pre-order via iTunes to some lucky Twitterino?
Anal?
Sure. We'll go with that one. With that said, yeah, Voodoo?
I was going to say, please remember to follow our HauntedMTL Twitter handle, because every once in a while we do giveaways.
Oh, yeah. We like to give away shit and money and shit money.
And you too can have shit money soon. With that, we all bid you goodbye.
Adieu.
Bye, said Box.
That's
Brandon's
exactly
giving us
what I
the
said.
finger, so I'm guessing that's a goodbye. And remember, kids, if we didn't cover it, you seen something we didn't cover, well, shit, there's only 3 of us and
a million of you.
Yeah, and Voodoo's only got so far to walk to that video store to rent.